The alien woman looked out from the small window of her ship. The stars were bright, but none shined like the blue and green planet below. It was Earth, a world full of life, mystery, and the unknown for her people. She had traveled far across, many light years, to reach this place. Her mission was secret and important. She was the first of her kind to visit humans. Her name was Liara. She was tall and graceful, but her appearance was very different from humans. Her skin was smooth, but patterned with soft, shimmering lines that glowed faintly in the dark. Her eyes were large and dark, with no whites like humans had. Her people believed that humans would fear her when they saw her. They warned her to hide or be ready for danger. But Liara was brave. She hoped to find peace and friendship, not fear. The ship shook gently as it entered Earth's atmosphere. Liara felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had trained for years to prepare for this moment. Now, she was close to fulfilling her mission. Her ship was small and fast, designed for quick travel and secret approaches. She landed in a remote forest, far from cities and crowds. As she stepped out, the fresh air filled her lungs. It was strange and wonderful. Birds sang in the trees and the wind whispered softly. She looked around carefully, making sure no one saw her too soon. She wore a light cloak to cover her unusual skin patterns, but she knew it would not hide everything. A sound behind her made her turn quickly. A human appeared. He was a man, not very tall, with dark hair and kind eyes. He wore simple clothes, a uniform of some kind, and carried a small device that blinked with lights. Liara froze. She expected the man to be afraid or to shout, but he only smiled gently. "Hello," he said softly. "I'm David. I'm here to help you." Liara blinked in surprise. This was not what she had expected. She lowered her hood a little, showing her glowing lines. David did not step back. He did not look scared. Instead, he looked curious. "You are Liara?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes, I am from the planet Zaltha. I come in peace." David smiled wider. "Welcome to Earth, Liara. We'll make sure you are safe here." Liara's heart felt warm. Maybe humans were not so different after all, but she still felt nervous. She knew many people on Earth might not accept her. She had to be careful. David led her through the forest to a small base, hidden among the trees. It was simple but clean and full of strange machines. The humans watched them closely, but said nothing. Liara noticed the quiet tension. Many did not know how to react to her. Inside the base, Liara was introduced to the leaders. They asked questions about her world, her mission, and her people. She answered honestly, trying to show her trust. "Why do you want peace?" One leader asked. Liara looked down for a moment. "Because war only brings pain. My people want to learn too. Share, and to grow. We want friends, not enemies." The leaders nodded slowly. They seemed to believe her, but Liara knew trust took time. Over the next days, David stayed near Liara. He helped her learn about Earth's customs and language. She tried hard to understand human emotions, which were sometimes confusing. David was patient and kind, never making her feel strange. One evening, they walked outside the base under the stars. Liara looked at the sky and said, "On Zaltha, we believe stars carry the hopes of all beings." David smiled and said, "Then your hopes are safe here." They talked for hours, sharing stories of their lives, hopes, and fears. Liara began to feel something new, a connection to this human. But not everything was easy. Some humans watched. From shadows, whispering doubts, some feared what they did not understand. Liara felt the weight of those fears. One day, while exploring the nearby forest, Liara almost stepped into a hidden trap set by hunters. David saved her just in time, pushing her away from sharp wires. "Why would they do this?" Liara asked, frightened. "Fear makes people do strange things," David said. "But I promise, I will protect you." That moment made Liara realize the journey ahead would be hard. She was not alone. She looked at David, grateful and hopeful. Maybe, Together, they could change minds and hearts as she rested that night. In the small room David prepared for her, Liara whispered to herself, "I came to find peace, and maybe I have already found it." The days passed slowly at the small human base hidden deep in the forest. Liara stayed mostly inside, learning about Earth's people and their ways. She found David's calm presence comforting. He was patient and kind, always ready to explain things she didn't understand. One afternoon, a sudden warning blared through the base. An unexpected storm was coming, faster and stronger than the weather station had predicted. The humans moved quickly to prepare. David came to Lyra's room. "The storm will be bad," he said.
Us.
"It might last all night." Liara nodded. "We should find safe shelter." David smiled softly. "You don't have to be alone. You can stay with me tonight. It's safer." Liara felt a flicker of worry. Sharing space with a human was new to her, and she worried about how he might react to her appearance in such close quarters. But the storm was fierce, and she trusted. "David, okay," she said quietly. They walked to David's quarters. The room was small but warm. David closed the door behind them and looked at her with a gentle smile. "Make yourself comfortable," he said. Liara lowered her hood, letting her glowing skin show. The light from a small lamp cast soft shadows across her face. David did not move away or show fear. Instead, he looked at her with kindness. As the storm outside roared, the two sat close but quiet. The sound of rain and wind filled the room. Liara felt her heart beat faster. This closeness was strange but not unpleasant. David reached out, offering a blanket. "You might feel cold." She accepted it, wrapping it carefully around her shoulders. The warmth spread through her. "Thank you," Liara said softly. They began to talk, sharing stories about their lives. Liara told David about Zeltha, her home planet, with its twin suns and purple skies. David spoke about Earth's oceans and forests, places Liara had never seen. Slowly the awkwardness faded. They laughed at small mistakes in language and culture. Liara found herself feeling safe, even happy. But just as the storm seemed to settle, a loud noise echoed outside. The base's alarm sounded again. David stood quickly. "Stay here," he said firmly. Liara nodded, watching him leave. Moments later, she heard voices and footsteps rushing by. Her heart pounded with fear. After a while, David returned, his face serious but calm. There was a breach in the outer fence. Someone tried to get inside. Lyra's eyes widened. "Was it dangerous?" "We don't know yet. We're checking, but I want you to stay close to me, okay?" She nodded, trusting him completely. The night was long and tense. Liara stayed by David's side as he helped secure the base. They worked silently, moving with careful steps. At one point, David looked at her and said, "I'm glad you're here." When the storm finally passed, the sun rose with soft light. The base was safe, but the event showed Liara how fragile peace could be. Over the next days, David and Liara spent more time together. He taught her about human emotions and simple joys, like drinking hot tea or listening to music. She shared her own customs, like the quiet moments her people took to watch stars. One evening, they walked outside under a clear sky. The air was fresh and cool. Liara looked at the stars and said, "I thought humans would fear me because of how I look, but you do not." David smiled. "Looks don't matter to me. Your heart is what counts." Our eyes shone with gratitude. "Thank you, David." David. But peace was fragile. Some humans in the base whispered about her behind closed doors. They didn't understand her glowing skin or large eyes. Fear made them distant and cold. One day, while exploring near the forest edge, Liara almost fell into a hidden trap sharp. Wires set by hunters who did not know about the base. David was there just in time to pull her away. "Why would they do this?" Liara asked, shaking. "Fear," David said quietly. "Fear of what is different." Liara looked into his eyes, feeling both sadness and hope. "We must help them see differently." David nodded. "We will." Their bond grew stronger. Liara began to understand humans better. And David learned about her people's kindness and wisdom. But the days ahead promised challenges. The world was watching, and not everyone would accept an alien among them. Liara knew she must be strong, not just for herself, but for all who hoped for peace. That night, as they shared a simple meal, Liara looked at David and whispered, "Thank you for not being afraid." He reached across the table, his hand brushing hers gently. "I'm not afraid of you. I'm glad you're here." In that moment, Liara felt something new. Hope. Maybe despite all the fears and doubts, a new beginning was possible. The days grew colder as Earth's seasons began to change. Liara and David spent more time together at the base. Their friendship was growing stronger, but the world outside was not always kind. One morning, an urgent message came through the base's communication system. Strange ships had been seen approaching the area known and uninvited. The base went on high alert. Soldiers prepared for possible danger. Liara felt a knot in her stomach. "Are we safe here?" she asked David. "We will do everything to protect this place," he replied, his voice calm but firm. The hours passed slowly. Then, a loud explosion shook the base. Alarms blared, and lights flashed red. The ships had attacked. The base's outer defenses were hit hard. David grabbed Liara's hand. "Come with me. We need to get to the safe zone." They ran through dark corridors, the sounds of battle echoing behind them. Liara's heart pounded, but she trusted David's strength and calm. Inside the safe zone, others were gathered, scared but ready. Liara looked around and saw fear in human eyes, but also determination. The attackers were unknown aliens, fierce and powerful. Their goal was to destroy the base and capture any outsiders. Liara realized the danger was greater than she had imagined. "We have to help," she said, her voice steady. David nodded. "We fight together." They worked side by side, helping the wounded and organizing defenses. Liara used her knowledge of technology from Zaltha to assist with repairs. David coordinated the human soldiers with clear orders as the battle raged on. Liara saw David risk his life to save a trapped soldier. Her respect for him grew deeper. "You are brave," she told him quietly. "And you are strong," he replied, smiling. After hours of fighting, the attackers retreated. The base was damaged, but still standing. Liara and David knew this was only the beginning. The experience changed Liara. She saw the true heart of humans, their courage, their will to protect each other. It was different from what her people had feared, but it also showed the challenges ahead. Many would never accept an alien, even one who fought for them. Later that night, David and Liara sat quietly in his quarters. The weight of the day was heavy. "Do you think they will come back?" Liara asked. "Maybe," David said, "but we will be ready." Liara looked at him, feeling a new bond between them. "Thank you for standing by me," always he replied. Their friendship deepened, built on trust and shared trials. They learned from each other, growing stronger together. The base began repairs. And Liara helped design better defenses using her people's advanced knowledge. Humans were amazed by her skills, and some began to see her in a new light. But whispers of fear and suspicion still lingered among others. Liara knew changing minds would take time. One day while walking near the forest, Liara noticed a small child watching her with wide eyes. Instead of fear, the child smiled shyly. "Hello," Liara said softly. The child smiled back and reached out a small hand. David appeared and smiled. "See, even children can accept what adults fear." Liara felt hope again. She knew her mission was not just to bring peace between worlds, but to build understanding between hearts. As she looked at David and the child, she thought, maybe this was the start of something new, a future where differences were not feared but celebrated, and maybe, just maybe, sharing moments of kindness could heal even the deepest wounds. The days after the attack were tense but hopeful. Liara and David worked closely to rebuild the base and strengthen its defenses. They had learned to trust each other deeply. Their bond was more than friendship now, though neither said it aloud. 1. Chilly evening. Liara was still working in the tech room when David knocked and entered. The room was filled with quiet hums of machines and glowing screens. Leora's skin shimmered softly under the light. "I thought you might want some company," David said, smiling. Lyra looked up, a small smile touching her lips. "Thank you, it's nice to have a friend here." David sat beside her. "You're not alone anymore." They talked about their worlds again, sharing dreams and fears. David told her stories of Earth's oceans and mountains, places he wanted to show her someday. Lyra spoke of Zaltha's peaceful forests and its twin suns setting together. The moment was calm and warm, a rare break from the tension surrounding them. Lyra felt a gentle courage grow inside her. Maybe she could find happiness here after all. But that night, as they prepared to rest, an emergency alarm sounded. The base was under threat again. This time, the danger came from within. A group of humans, fearful and angry about the aliens' presence, had begun to spread rumors. They believed Lyra was a spy or worse. Their fear turned to action. They planned to remove her by force. David rushed to find Lyra. "We have to be careful. Not everyone wants peace." Lyra's heart sank. She had hoped for acceptance, but faced rejection instead. "What can we do?" she asked, trying to stay calm. "We stand together," David said firmly. "We show them the truth." They called a meeting, inviting everyone at the base. Lyra spoke honestly about her mission and her hope for peace. She shared stories of her people's culture and her desire to understand humans better. Some listened. Quietly, others whispered doubts. David stood by her side, supporting her every word. Then a loud voice interrupted. "How can we trust an alien? She looks different." The room grew tense. Lyra felt fear rise, but did not back down. "I am not your enemy," she said softly. "I want to be your friend." Slowly, a few voices joined hers, saying they had seen her kindness and bravery during the attack. The fear began to soften. David looked at her with pride. "We all have differences, but we share this place. We can choose peace." The meeting ended without violence. But Lyra knew the fight for acceptance was not over. In the days that followed, David and Lyra spent more time together. Their connection deepened as they faced challenges side by side. One night, a cold wind blew through the base. Lyra shivered and wrapped herself in her cloak. David noticed. "You look cold. You can share my room tonight. It will be warmer." Lyra hesitated but nodded. The idea of sharing a bed with a human was still new and strange, but she trusted David more than anyone. In his room, they settled under a thick blanket. The small space was warm and safe. Lyra felt the rhythm of David's breathing and the steady beat of his heart. At first, they were quiet, both unsure of what to say. Then Lyra spoke softly. "I never thought I would share a bed with a human." David chuckled. "Me neither. But sometimes, life surprises us." The moment felt simple, but powerful. Lyra realized that true connection was not about appearance, but about trust and care. She looked at David and saw not a stranger, but a friend. Someone who understood her beyond skin and eyes. The night passed peacefully. In the morning, Lyra felt a new strength inside her. She knew the road ahead was still full of challenges. But with David by her side, she could face anything together. They were not just two beings from different worlds. They were a team, eh? Hope for peace in a galaxy filled with fear. And maybe, just maybe, sharing a bed was the first step toward sharing a future. The days after Lyra and David shared that quiet night were full of changes. Some people in the base began to talk more openly about Lyra. Not all the talk was kind. Some whispered doubts and fears. Others watched her with curiosity and even respect. Lyra felt the weight of their eyes but kept her head high. She knew that winning trust would take time. David stayed close, always ready to support her. One morning, the base commander called a meeting. "We have news," he said. A group of aliens nearby sent a distress signal. They need help. Lyra's eyes brightened. Maybe this is a chance to show humans and aliens can work together. David nodded. "Let's prepare a team." Team included soldiers, scientists, and Liara. They left the base in a fast shuttle, heading toward the distress signal. The journey was tense but hopeful. When they arrived, the scene was grim. An alien colony was under attack by a ruthless enemy. Buildings were damaged and many were injured. Liara recognized some species she had heard about but never met. Felt a deep sadness for their suffering. The team quickly set to work. Humans helped with medical aid, repairs, and defense. Liara used her knowledge to communicate with the alien survivors and understand their needs. David watched her closely. "You are amazing," he said softly. Liara smiled. "We all have a role to play." The team fought off the attackers together. Liara's presence helped ease tensions between humans and aliens. She became a symbol of hope. After the attack ended, the aliens thanked Liara and her human friends. Some came to the base with them, wanting to learn more about Earth. Back at the base, news of the rescue spread quickly, and he began to see Liara in a new light, not as a threat, but as a hero. But not everyone was happy. Some still feared change. They whispered warnings and made plans to challenge the growing friendship between Liara and David. One evening, Liara and David were walking through the base when a group confronted them. Fear and anger filled the air. "Why do you trust her?" one man shouted. "Because she saved lives," David answered firmly. Liara stepped forward. "I do not want to fight. I want peace." The crowd was silent for a moment, then slowly began to disperse. Liara and David stayed strong. That night, as they sat under the stars, Liara looked at David and said, "Our journey is hard, but worth it." He took her hand gently. "We will face it together." Their bond grew deeper. Liara learned more about human emotions: hope, fear, love, and courage. David understood more about her world's wisdom and strength. They dreamed of a future where humans and aliens lived as friends and allies. A future where differences were celebrated, not feared. But the universe was vast and full of surprises. New challenges awaited. Yet Liara and David knew they were no longer alone. They had each other and a growing community ready to stand with them. And that was enough to face whatever came next. The days passed quickly at the base. Liara and David had grown closer, their bond stronger than ever. But the challenges they faced were not over. Rumors and fears still lingered among some humans, and new threats appeared on the horizon. One morning, the base received a message from the Galactic Council, a powerful group that watched over many worlds. They had learned about Lyra's presence and her mission. The council wanted to meet and decide if peace between humans and Zolthans was possible. Liara felt nervous but hopeful. This was her chance to prove that their worlds could live together in harmony. David stood by her side, offering quiet support. The journey to the council's chamber was long and full of tension. Ships from many species surrounded them, some curious, others suspicious. Liara could feel their eyes on her, wondering if she was friend or foe when they arrived. The chamber was vast and filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. The council's leader, a tall figure with shimmering skin, spoke first. "We have watched your efforts, Liara," the leader said. "But trust is hard to earn. Why should we believe humans and Zolthans can live in peace?" Liara took a deep breath. "Because we have already begun. Humans and I have faced fear and danger together. We learned to trust, to protect each other. I believe all our peoples can do the same." David nodded. "I have seen her courage and kindness. She is not our enemy," the council whispered among themselves. Then the leader spoke again. "We will allow a trial period, a time for humans and Zolthans to work and live side by side. If peace lasts, we will support your mission, Lyra." And David felt a wave of relief and hope. Back on Earth, they began the hard work of building bridges between worlds. Liara helped teach humans about Zolthan culture, while David shared Earth's history and values. Some humans and aliens resisted the changes, but many joined in friendship and cooperation. One evening, Liara and David stood together, looking at the stars. "Our journey is just beginning," Liara said softly. "But we are ready," David replied. They held hands, knowing that together they could face any challenge. Their story became a symbol across the galaxy, proof that fear could be overcome by understanding, and that even the greatest differences could be united by hope and friendship. And so Lyra's mission was more than successful. It was a new beginning, a future where humans and aliens shared not only beds in times of need, but a shared destiny of peace.